Hi, welcome to another board game unboxing video, and this one today is a bit different because this is a game that I backed through Kickstarter. I don't really do this very often. It's only the second game I've ever backed through Kickstarter, and it is The Walking Dead No Sanctuary by Cryptozoic Entertainment. The reason why this one's a bit different, I mean, I'm a big fan of the TV show, I love the comics. I've played the Mantic games, the skirmish game, Walking Dead All Out War, loads, and I know that this is kind of a completely different game. There's been a lot of controversy, a lot of write-ups on the internet about the quality of the components in this. So I'd been sort of struggling to find any videos before I got my pledge. I was really struggling to find any kind of videos online that showed the components in any real detail. So hopefully today I'm going to do a video here that's going to run through the components. I'll show you some close-ups of the miniatures, so you can really get an idea of what they look like. Again, I'm not going to be explaining how the game works or any of that stuff. This is just literally going to be getting it out of the box, showing you the stuff. As before with most of my other videos, I have already unboxed this myself and bagged it up. So I'll just be running through the components. This isn't going to be exactly as you're going to get it when you pick up a copy. Now again, this is the Kickstarter version, so there are some exclusives in this box. I'll show those as well. Yep, so let's crack it open, see what's what. Okay, so on top we have the rulebook. Again, I've had a look through this, so I've read through it. I've not actually played the game myself yet, but the rulebook, it seems quite convoluted. Seems like you have to kind of go backwards and forwards quite a bit, trying to find specific rules and how things work. You get a pack of player boards. These are for each of the characters that you get in the box. So they're double-sided, so it depends whether you're playing. These are the side if you're playing as this character, and the game has a mechanic where if you're ever playing with less than 4 players, you have ally characters, so it's like an autonomous version. That you still control them, but they have certain abilities. So there's one for each of them as well. So you've got Glenn, Merle, Dale, T-Dog, Blast from the Past. I'm actually I'll get to those in a bit. Andrea, Daryl, Shane, Rick. And then this is the board that you use to keep a track of morale threat and place various materials and event cards on. As well as that, you also get these, which are like reference cards for rivals and strangers, which are more people that you can get. Rivals obviously are live people that aren't very nice. Strangers are sort of random people that you might encounter depending on what scenario you're playing. We then get a bunch of scenario sheets, and this is one where we run into the first thing that a lot of people have criticised, and they've said these are just on paper, and people seem to have an issue with this. I haven't got any problem with this at all. They are essentially in the individual missions or stories that you can play. The idea being that you play through, so scavenger run, search party, new threat, outlaws, shallow graves, knock knock. Those would be the scenario that you play in the story. In this box as well, because of it being the Kickstarter, there's also the 2-player ride scenario, which is like a standalone mission, whereas these ones form part of the No Sanctuary story. Each one of these sheets basically shows you how to set up the map, various setups of the different decks, special rules, the story, and on the back is where you have your tracker, where you sort of mark off what objective you're currently working on and whether or not you complete the game. Again, apparently it's a really big deal that these are on paper rather than on some thicker card. Doesn't bother me. Next up, we've got the tiles for the scenery. There are 6 in the base box. They're on pretty thick card. They're all right. Not as thick as Fireflies, but I haven't had a problem with these warping like I have with some other games. They're double-sided, and they show various sort of terrain hazards, the yellow things being walls or where you can barricade inside buildings. The yellow things like represent the boundaries of buildings, so if you're in there you can barricade them up. But yeah, these are double-sided. they seem to focus on sort of a cityscape or campsite, the vegetation. And then bags and bags and bags of tokens. Most of the tokens are pretty much exactly the same. I'll just get a couple of these out of the bag just to show you quickly what they look like. Yeah, and these are the exert tokens. Again, they're not flimsy, they feel pretty good. I can't imagine them being necessary to make them on any thicker card, but there's tokens for focus. These are your stressed ones. You mark corpses on the board with that. Those are your, what do they call it, our trust tokens. That's all of those. Each character also gets a pack of tokens where you've got your base, your coloured base, where there's like, I think it's green, red, blue and purple. And so there's a green one, and then you also, each survivor gets 6 tokens like this, which you use to track various progresses during the game. So we've got those. There's also these, which again, these are more cardboard tokens representing different resources, ammo, food and resources. So that's those. And we've got a pack of dice. There's 2 different dice in the game. There are these, which is the dice you roll when you're doing the test to see if you succeed, if you have to exert yourself, or if you get stressed out by doing it. I think that's the focus one, so focus, and then that's the exert. So if you roll successes, your abilities get better. If you roll exerts, you have to basically strain yourself by discarding cards to do the action, and if you roll that one, it means you can focus that, and again, different abilities. Then depending on whether you've got stress on your character, you have to roll one of these, which is the stress die, and that's just got sort of, I think it's got 2 blank sides, and you've got 2 skulls and 2 lightning strikes. And again, you roll those to represent your character getting stressed out, and it can cause negative things to happen on the turn. We've got the leader token, which is like your first player token. It's just another big cardboard token. And then we've got probably the funniest components in the box, which is the morale and threat tracker tokens. And I'll be honest, I'm not even sure you're going to be able to see these if you're going to get them out of the box. They are so small, it's ridiculous. There we go. So that's the leader token. They've got some more. These are lock tokens. You put those on objectives just to show that they're not currently active. And then here we go, the morale and threat tokens that you put on the track. And they are so small, it's just crazy. I'll probably recommend replacing those with a couple of cubes or something. Then we've got cards. So first we've got a deck of map cards. These are cards that you use when you're sort of spawning walkers on the board. They show you a random location, so that if you ever have to pick where something happens randomly. And they're also, there's something this compass does, but I don't remember. There's also a deck of search cards. These are the cards that when you search the buildings that are marked out on the map, you search the location and you might find things. Now these are marked, they're kind of grouped into types. So you've got resource cards, equipment cards, objective cards, hazard cards and secret cards. Now these, you end up creating the decks for the different buildings based on certain types. So the game will say use 4 resource cards, 2 equipment cards and a couple of hazard cards. And you put those into a pool, shuffle them up, randomly deal them out on the board. So different objectives use different types. The reason that's kind of vaguely relevant is because the event deck works in kind of a similar way. So again, the event deck has a bunch of cards, there's 10 of each I think. There's got no, and then at the bottom you've got like no escape, raiders, uneasy trust, ride, shelter, lurkers, resources. So what the scenario will tell you, it will say build the event deck using the lurkers, resources and no escape deck. And so you get all of these together and you shuffle them up, and that's what creates the deck. So it means that the different scenarios have different cards that can happen. These objective cards all feature, it's a mechanic that the leader has to draw two, and then you have to pick which one you want to do. They've got neglect. So basically, if the leader chose to discard this one, then you'd have to do this when he discarded it, so each survivor would have to exert. And then if you keep in this one, a survivor that ends his activation in the space with another survivor gains a trust. So the leader picks one of those and plays them in secret. They've all got two things on, an active and a neglect. There is also some reference cards that I've split out. These are for various things. So you've got, let's have a look with Daryl's Ride. There are 3 specific Daryl cards, which for his deck you can swap them out. These are for the Ride Daryl, which is one of the Kickstarter exclusives. It's a different version of Daryl you can use for a specific scenario in the box. So Daryl's Ride reference card has the rules for if you want to play with Daryl's motorbike. Then we've got reference cards for special walkers. So this is the gas mask walker, and it's got his special rules. Another one of the criticisms of the game from the community is that there's only one reference card in the game, where there should be 4. Yeah, whatever. Again, so it tells you the round sequence and tells you what actions you can do on your turn. And you've got the reference card for the rival generals, and then there's the rivals activation stuff, strangers activation stuff, and finally there's the Dr. Jenner reference card, which I'm not 100% sure who that is in this box. Yeah. Finally, we've got the survivor decks. So each character in the game has a 15 card deck. So yeah, we've got Shane. Yeah, I mean, well, I've already been through everybody that's in here, T-Dog and Dale and whatever. And so you've got 15 cards for each character. Just get Rick's deck. And these are the cards, they have abilities on them that you can do during your turn. You have to play one during your turn. And this also kind of is your health. When you run out of cards and you can't draw any more, you're dead and the game ends for everybody. Again, with the other cards that I just had out, those 3 Daryl cards, those are ones you'd switch those out for 3 cards of your choice from Daryl's deck in here. Again, you know, they've all got pretty decent artwork on them. The artwork's a bit of a strange one because it kind of looks like photographs, and at the same time it kind of looks like it's artwork. Or is it just photos that have had some filter applied to them? I don't know. It's a good look. I do like it. It looks better than if they were just stock photographs. Then there's this, which is a tray where you can store your survivor decks. I think that's what these are for. So all of the different survivors in the game, you could just have their decks out ready, and then another pool to put other cards in there. And then finally we have the miniatures, where there is an absolute ton of these in this box. So that's the first tray. We have the second tray, and the last tray at the bottom. And the last tray has a big reservoir here where you can put a lot of tokens and things like that. So it is, they've thought through pretty much what the storage solution is like to give you a chance of getting everything back in the box. I personally just prefer to bag everything up and use the space that I've got. So now we'll take a look at some of the individual miniatures in close-up. You can get a look at those, see if you can see what, make up your own mind about the quality of them. So here we go with the miniatures. These are the survivors that you get. So we have Rick and Glenn, Andrea, Daryl, Dale, Merle, T-Dog and Shane. Then this is the Daryl Dixon Ride miniature for the Ride game mode. These are the 2 standard zombie miniatures, the male and female versions. You know, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe these are the strangers, the guy on the right, and the other one is the rivals, the bad guy faction. And then the last two model types in this box is the only special zombie type in this box, which is the gas mask zombie, and the guy on the right is a rival general, who I think is like a souped up version of the rivals. And there you have it. It's just now for me to try and figure out how to get it all back in the box, and then I will be uploading another unboxing and in the next couple of days, where I'll take a look through. I think I'll do the Kickstarter stretch goal stuff next. So the stretch goals box next from the No Sanctuary pledge, and that'll be coming in the next week or so. So thanks very much for watching.